Damn! That was crazy, guys. What a fantastic episode. I'm back again reviewing The Last of Us, episode 8. And let me tell you, man, Bella Ramsey is killing it in this show. She stole the show this week for sure. And, we had to see her do some wild stuff, man. I mean, at the end of the episode, I just had my mouth was dropped and I was just having like a wave of emotions. I was a little sad. I was a little proud of her, and I was also just like, what a badass, man. I mean, I know I've been saying that most of the season, but Jesus, man, she went all the way in. Phenomenal acting and just true to character. I mean, this is Ellie from the games. You know, she's savage, she's a survivor, and super loyal. You know what I mean? But great episode. We start off the episode where Ellie's checking on Joel. He's still in rough shape. He's not really responsive, but she stitched him up, whatever. And they're kind of running on fumes. She's eating crumbs, and she's just that's it. That's all they got left. So she got to go out and try and get some food or some medicine or something, some supplies for them to survive. I mean, they have nothing there. So she heads out. She heads out to go do that. And then we cut to this character from the game, David. He has a group of people. He's kind of their leader. And he's just a religious fanatic. I mean, this guy is a little out there. And I mean, the way they introduce him in this episode makes him seem like, a pretty decent guy. When he gets out of the, little sermon, Sunday service that I guess they're doing that day with the group, he gets with his partner. I forgot the guy's name, but he gets with his partner and he kind of just says, how much food do we have left? They're kind of keeping it a secret from their group to not cause havoc or mayhem or an uprising from that group. And he tells them, I mean, we got pretty much nothing, probably a week's worth of food. And then after that, there's nothing we could do. So they go out hunting to try and get the group some food. At that moment, Ellie's also hunting. She finds a deer in the middle of the woods and she shoots it. She follows the trail and she runs into David and his sidekick or whatever. Basically, they introduce themselves. They tell her that they have a group. They're part of a larger group. They have food, clothes. And then she immediately says, do you have medicine, something to cure some type of infection? And they say yes, so they kind of agree on if they bring the medicine back to Ellie, she'll give them half of the deer. And David sends his guy to go speak to, I guess, the doctor in their group and get that medicine. And, no funny business is basically what David tells his guy. So in the meantime, Ellie and him, they kind of sit down by a fire. They get into some shelter, get out of the snow, and try and get some warmth as they try to introduce themselves. And the guy's a little sketch, Well, I mean, at first he comes off as genuine, and it seems like, he may be a good person that Ellie's finally run into in this crazy world. But then in middle of their conversation, he mentions to her that a guy and a girl were last seen killing, I guess, a guy from their group. So being that she's a girl out there and she's obviously getting medicine for somebody else, he kind of feels that they fit the description and these are the people that they're looking for. And at that moment, David's guy has a gun pointed at her and he's basically, ready to take her out. I guess he wants vengeance. Maybe it's somebody that was close to him or somebody close in their group that, they want revenge. And they have her right there. But David basically tells him, no, let's let them go. We'll take this deer. And Ellie kind of scurries off. She goes to back to their house. And it's so cute, but it's also scary, right? Because, she gets back to the house and she has the medicine, the syringe, all that stuff, but she's a little kid. How's she going to know? She never went to med school or she doesn't know nothing like that. So she just does the obvious, right? I'm going to go ahead and inject this medicine directly into the wound, and that should do the trick. She doesn't know what she's doing. She's just kind of going off of gut instinct, and it's just she had to do what she had to do. She came this far. She got him the medicine. Something's got to give. So she gives him the medicine. They go to sleep, and we get back. David and his guy get back to town. They have the deer with them. They show the townspeople that are eating there that they got the deer, and he then reveals to them that we found a guy and a girl out here, and they're likely the ones that killed the guy in our group. And I don't know who this little girl is in the group there, but maybe she's the guy's daughter. Maybe that's why she was crying early on in the episode, I'm thinking. And when David reveals this, she basically tells David, why don't you kill them then, And then that's when you see kind of the real side of David come out. He smacks her with like a glove there in front of everybody, puts her in her place, basically says, I know you want vengeance for your father, but be grateful that you at least have a father right in front of you. Saying some weird stuff like that. That power trip, that kind of like, some weird sinister way of saying like, I'm your daddy now or something like that. And right there you start thinking, this guy is, off. He demands respect. He's one of these religious fanatics that if you say anything against him or disrespect him, he'll go ahead and show his true colors and be an enforcer or something. So right there, it sets a red flag. Everybody seems to be scared of this guy, and they're just kind of like looking at him. Nobody stepped up and kind of objected to him smacking that girl in front of anybody. They just let it ride. And even the people that disagreed with it, you could see in their faces, they were just like, well, that's the rules here or whatever. And who knows what this guy has done to make them fear him this way. Obviously, he has some type of fear instilled in them for them to not rebut that. Obviously, it was a wrong thing to do. So at that moment, he tells them, tomorrow we'll go ahead and find those tracks, try and track them down, and you guys could get your justice or whatever. So they head out the next day. But then she hears these guys coming. They're basically on their way there, and they're closing in on them. So she gives Joel a knife, and she says, hey, look, I'm gonna go out, hold this knife. If one of them comes down here, kill them. She tries to distract them. She gets on the horse, shoots a few shots at them, and takes off and split up going after her. David's main guy shoots her off the horse. And you know what? Speaking of that, at the end of the episode, when they give you like a recap of how the episode was made or whatever, and they're talking about scene by scene, talk about that stunt double, man. What a crappy job that is, right? She got flung off that horse, face head first into the sand, into the snow. It's like, that had to be a rough day. It's bad enough it's like negative temperatures outside, but then you're also getting your face jammed into the snow. Who knows how many times they had to do that take to get it right. But basically, Ellie's unconscious at this moment. They close in on her, and David's guy and a few of the others, they're about to kill her, but he shoots a shot in the sky, and he basically tells them, look, I'm gonna take her, and you guys could go door to door and get your vengeance or whatever like that. So these guys, they split up and they start going door to door. We have one of the guys there. He gets to the house where Ellie and Joel were, and he kind of sees, like, I guess where she was looking for supplies and stuff like that. And he kind of figures, oh, this is the house. Then he sees like like a china cabinet blocking a doorway. So obviously he's like, there's something being blocked there. And we cut to Joel, and he hears that this guy's coming. So by the time the guy gets down there, Joel's moved or gone, whatever, and he sneaks up on the guy, stabs him to death, and that was gruesome. That guy, just the way that guy acted, slowly dying like that, and then just the face, right? It's sold, and I imagine that's how it is. Obviously, none of us ever would want to see that, but like if you see somebody die in front of your eyes slowly, like leaking out like that, it must be like that. Like the face was just like kind of twitching, and then all of a sudden it just goes like still, and it's just motionless. It was wild. Great acting. And just a great portrayal, I'm assuming, of how somebody would die so gruesomely like that, and how you would see it as the one delivering the blow. It was kind of crazy. But yeah, Joel makes his way there. He starts taking out a few of the guys, gets these 2 guys and starts torturing them, and asking them where Ellie is and is she okay. And one of them starts talking. And that scene was crazy too, because I mean, he's interrogating them. He tells the one guy that he's stabbing and sticking a knife through his kneecap and stuff like that. He tells that guy, "I'm gonna point. You got to point to where it is, and then I'm gonna ask your friend, and it better match up." And da 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 da. And then he kills him anyways. After he gets that information, he kills him. He goes to the friend, and the friend's like, "Oh, you didn't have to kill him. I'm not gonna tell you nothing now." He's like, "That's fine. I believe it." I love that line because it was kind of like, whatever, man. I believe that he was in such agonizing pain that he gave me the real information. So, I don't care what you say, or you're basically of no value right now. He bangs him in the head with a pipe. Just awesome, man. Joe's a savage. Even in his roughed up condition, he just has no time for it. Especially in this roughed up condition, he has no time for it. So we cut to Ellie. She's locked in a cage, and this guy's trying to work his little spiel, I guess, that worked on everybody else. But it's not working for Ellie, obviously. But she sees like an ear on the floor, and she's telling him, "You guys are like terrible. I mean, you guys eating people and stuff like that." And he tries to reason or justify why they've been eating people, and he tries to justify it. And then at that moment, this is the genius of Ellie and Bella Ramsey, who plays Ellie, is she's showing him that she's kind of like sympathizing with him. In reality, she's not, but just to get close. And then he shows his true colors here. I mean, not only is he like this religious fanatic, and he feels like he's the powerful one, and he's like praising himself for being a shepherd and all these people being sheep, doing whatever he says, and him being aware of that, right, just shows that he's a piece of crap. But to top it off, then you see he's a real freaking creep when he starts telling her, you and me, you're a fighter, you're loyal, you could do this, what we could build together, basically insinuating you could be with me, like in a relationship type way, as my wife. I'll take you on as my wife, and me and you could run this place, and we'll demand respect, and we'll build this even bigger and have more people on our side and all this stuff. And it was just some creepy shit, but like Ellie plays along with it, right? And I loved that, because it's just like anybody would think, especially this guy that doesn't know her from nothing, would think, what does this little girl know? She doesn't know how to play the game like this, and kind of act like she's interested in when she's not. She can't be this, advanced mentally. But little does he know she is, and she's like, "Really? Oh man, that sounds great," and blah blah blah. And he's like, "Oh, I got her. I hooked her in. I reeled her in." Freaking creep. And that's at that moment when she just like grabs that finger, twists it, bites it. She tries to grab the keys, but he gets the best of her. And but I just loved that, because he didn't see that coming at all. He was like, "Yeah, I got her. My magic still works here. I'm still a smooth talker." Gets even more sinister where she's like, "Yo, tell your people that it was a little freaking girl that did this to you, you softy." And it's just one of these reasons why I loved the game so much, and the character of Ellie and Bella Ramsey, the way she's just nailing Ellie as a character. I mean, it's just so on point that, it brings like a tear to your eye as like somebody that loves consuming entertainment. It's like, wow, that's incredible. He comes back with his dude. They get her on the table. They look like they're about to chop her up, and just end it, because she's not cooperating. She's obviously not to be trusted for them. He can't convince her to join him, so he's just like, "You know what? Well, this will be dinner, I guess." She's like, "I bet you're infected because I'm immune, and you're gonna turn now. So I got you, so you could kill me all you want, but you're gonna die anyways." So they're kind of not believing it, and she takes that opportunity to grab his butcher knife that he left there, stabs his side dude, and takes off. And at that moment, we get to the scene or the sequence of in the game. This is a mission straight out of the game, and I just love the way they did it. You're in that old restaurant, you know, where I guess they eat as a group. And you're in there, she throws something, it starts catching fire, and she's kind of like hiding behind booths and going in between these like saloon doors and stuff like that. It was just so out of the video game. And just even like the quotes that he was saying while he's walking and chasing her, it was so similar. It was almost exact, you know. I love how they're bringing these elements and these scenes from the game to life on live action. I just love the way that HBO really did this for the fans, and why it's so important to have the creator. You know, this is I wish Disney, like Kathleen Kennedy and like creatives over there at Lucasfilm now, would take a page out of this and do it the way that HBO is doing it here with The Last of Us. They have the creator of the video game as a creative on this show. So he's able to say, look, you know, our Last of Us fans would know that this is straight out of the game. You know, they would look at it, and it even brought a smile to my face. Like when I saw that scene come to life, I was just like, oh, that's so cool. Because I've played the game several times, so I've played that mission several times, and it was a tricky mission. You know, you kind of got to be real stealthy, hide behind stuff, because this guy just comes and kind of swings that butcher axe at you and you're done, you know? So it was amazing how they brought that to life. But, you know, she gets, she gets the best of him. She sneaks up behind him, gives him a nice little jab with the knife, and he's like, damn it, you know, and she sees some type of other weapon or something like that. She starts going for it, but this guy gets on top of her and he starts like holding her down, and you know, like he's about to violate her, you know, straight up. And it's disgusting, right? Because you're like, what a piece of crap, man. I wish I was there to grab this fool and just choke him out, you know. But and he even says like some sinister ass line like, oh, you know, that's the best part I like about it is the fight, you know, you like fighting against it, that's my favorite thing. And it was just like, oh, I want this dude dead, man. And he starts like unbuckling his belt buckle, and it's about to get crazy. And at that moment, you know, Ellie just grabs that freaking butcher knife and she goes ape shit on him. I mean, she starts just wailing on his face. And Bella Ramsey, the way she sold that emotion, you know, when you're being taken advantage of like that, and the adrenaline rush that you must get that overpowers you to do something that crazy, and she's just chopping at him till he's left nothing. And I mean, my mouth was dropped, my jaw was dropped. It was just bravo. Bella Ramsey deserves to get a what is it? It's not an Oscar. It's I forgot what it is for shows. An Emmy. She's gonna get an Emmy for this. I mean, because she straight up killed this episode, and just that losing her mind moment right there. I mean, she sold that to me. Wow, amazing. You know, so she walks out and she's all shaken up, obviously, and it's at that moment when kind of Joel grabs her behind her back, and he just grabs her, and he's just like, it's okay. He sees in her face with all the blood there, and just the facial expression that she's making, that she's been through it. She's been through some stuff. She had to do some stuff that, you know, once again, she had to do some stuff that a child should not be having it to do. And, you know, it's just that the episode ends right there. And I just thought it was phenomenally acted by Bella Ramsey. She stole the show in this episode for sure. If she doesn't get an Emmy for this, I mean, come on, man. Like, what are you guys doing? I mean, this was phenomenal acting, true to the character. She sold the despair, those moments of despair, and, you know, survival, and just having to do what you have to do in these scenarios. So I thought it was phenomenal. I mean, this was a great episode, another great episode, and just the way they've done it so far. I know it's going to finish out the way the game ended, and I just can't wait for those last few episodes because they're going to be great. I mean, so far, I think they've had maybe one episode that was kind of meh, but everything else this season has just been phenomenal. So, Yeah, I mean, let me know what you guys thought. I thought it was great. All the actors in this episode did good. Even the creep David, especially that guy, because he starts off one way and then he shows his true colors, and it was just sick, man. You wanted that guy dead, so at the very end, it's satisfying when he's gone. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought. Comment down below. Definitely share this video with anybody you think that would like the content. And yeah, until next week. I think we got 2 more episodes, guys. And then, also doing Mandalorian. If you like Mandalorian, check me out on Wednesday nights or Wednesday mornings. Actually, I'll be doing those reviews. But yeah, I'm super excited to see these last 2 with you guys, talk about them. And until next time, guys, thanks so much for spending time with me. Like, comment, subscribe, and bye, guys.